Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and otherwise. I'm Lamar Haven. Welcome back to Professor Layton and the Last Specter. So why don't we continue on with the story right away? Figure out exactly what's happening. Our story so far. While Emmy is in London, Layton and Luke continue their investigation on Highard Hill. Will they find the key piece of the puzzle they are looking for? Last we left our heroes, we were at the excavation site. Layton finally got to take a look at the golden garden that he's been looking for. And hopefully there are some clues here. Just as Dugan said, it looks like they haven't turned up anything. What makes you say that? I can tell from the exposed strata here, see? Actually, your father is quite the geology expert. My father? Really? Clark excelled at identifying organisms in strata such as this. He never told you about that. My father has been so busy with the town and he hasn't spoken much recently. He seems like a different person since he became the mayor. I think maybe my mom left because she couldn't deal with him anymore. But he's not even my dad. What if the Spectre kidnapped my real dad? Luke, that is highly doubtful. Although I also thought that Clark was acting strangely. The Spectre is controlling him. When did you notice the change in your father? When he became the mayor, right before the Spectre appeared. I'm sure Clark will return to his old self once we sort out this case, but I need your help. We'll get to the bottom of this, you believe me, don't you, Luke? Of course I do, Mr. Layton. Good. When Emmy returns, we will speak with your father. Now, we may be a little early, but let's head for the library. You think Emmy is back by now? If she is not, then we can look at some of the archived newspapers. Maybe we can find something useful. I see. You know where the library is, don't you? It's east of the crossroads. Of course. Let's go. Oopsies! Whoa! I didn't think that was on! Dugan can't be using dynamite to unearth the Golden Garden. That's not a good way to conduct an archaeological dig, is it? It is not. I certainly hope the Golden Garden is somewhere else. Ah, the smell of a fresh dig. And it's been quite a while. I thought you explored places like this all the time, Mr. Layton. Unfortunately, no. I'm usually holed up in my study these days. But enough of that. Perhaps you can take a look at this puzzle. Puzzle number 66, sorting artifacts, worth 40 picarets. Alright. An archaeologist shows you some ancient ruins from the dig site. It's from a dig at Miss Tallery. These runes were divided into two groups, but I seem to have mixed them up. You sort the runes in the correct groups. Only the top left rune cannot be moved. This sort of looks like an eye. This sort of looks like a pineapple. Sort of looks like maybe a kite, a bike, a face, and something else. Separate the relics and tap the icon. This looks like a butterfly, so organic, inorganic? No, there's gotta be something with the fact that this is white and this is not. Organic, inorganic, again. There's gotta be more to it. Maybe it's not what I'm interpreting them as, because that's a bit vague. It has to do with the symbols, maybe. I don't see anything that jumps out, though. 3 runes on the left, 4 on the right. There's too many combinations that I can't guess. And my only clue beyond the actual symbols on them is that this one, I guess it's sort of an apple or a butterfly. So... I really don't know. This one's weird. Oh, maybe there's symbols, ones that can be drawn with one line and ones that can... No, they're too small. That'd be hard to figure out. This one, I don't think could be drawn with one line. This one totally could. This one could. So... drawn with one line. This one could not be drawn with one line. Could not be drawn with one line. Could not be drawn with one line. Could be drawn with one line.
How about this?
Nope.
I'm just not cut out for this.
I'm gonna go for a super hint, because I don't know. No, that's... I did figure that much out at least. This one definitely, I don't think could do only one line. This one couldn't do one line. This one definitely can't do with only one line. That can't be done with one line because it separates. So it's gotta be these.
I think this is right. Let me take another look.
Alright, let's look at the hints. 3 runes in the left box, 4 in the right. That one's easy. That one definitely works. This one definitely works as well. This one, looking through it, I think it works. This is the only one I'm not sure on. This one definitely doesn't work because it's got all these these parts that shoot out. So you wouldn't be able to do this one. And same problem here. Let's just assume I'm wrong about the pineapple.
This is what I've come up with. Some puzzles are simply impossible.
I guess I'll just keep trying. Not penalizing me anymore.
How about this?
Really?
I knew I could do it!
Runes are divided in two groups. The ones on the left can be written in one pen stroke without lifting the pen or tracing a line. The ones on the right can't. Well solved. Clark and I always used to swap puzzles like this one. You and my dad were best friends, right? What was he like back then? Well, Clark was a very hardworking student, always on time, and incredibly diligent. He was a favorite with the faculty members, so he often assigned him particularly tricky tasks. We both often ended up falling asleep face first in our books. And despite all that, we always had time for friends and family. I wish he was like that now. I'm sorry you and your father have been having a difficult time lately. Once we get to the bottom of all this, I'm sure things will go back to how they were before. I'm not sure I want them to. Explosions! Alright, well, guess we're going to the library. First puzzle of the day didn't go very well, did it? Oh well. Also, I want to apologize for yesterday, folks. Stream was cut in half because my shoulder was acting up. It's a lot better today. Unfortunately, life is going to be getting in the way for the rest of the week. Turns out I'm not going to be able to stream Friday because I'm going to be going to a friend's for, we're going to be watching BlizzCon, and I might not be able to stream tomorrow. It depends on a phone call I get later today. Oh hey, we did miss a few puzzles. Keats, help us out. Black and white cats. Or 30 picarets, number 28. You want to display your impressive collection of black and white cat paperweights on this 4x4 grid. You must fill every space, and no row or column can have more than 2 of the same colored cats next to each other. The next cats currently on the grid must remain where they are. How can you fill in the rest of the grid? Touch the space to place a cat, change its color, or remove it. Alright, well, if it can't be more than 2, then those have to be white. That means these have to be black. Uh-oh, we already have a problem. Can have more than 2 same colored cats next to each other. Oh. Okay, that works then. And that has to be white. That has to be black. That has to be white. That could be black or white. That could be black or white. That could be black or white. This has to be black, though. This has to be black. This has to be white. This has to be black.
A challenging puzzle, to be sure. I love the thrill of a good solution.
Correct. There's no rule about having an uneven number of black and white cats. Number 30. Book stacks. Or 35 picarets. Someone left a ton of books on the table, and now these 2 librarians have an unpleasant task of shelving them all again. The librarians are trying to count all the books, but they're stacked so high that neither of them can see them all. Using each librarian's point of view, work out how many books are on the table. Okay, you see 4 here. And 5 here. And then 2 here. And you see 5 here, 2 here. Alright, for this to work, how does this work? If you're looking at an angle, he should see the 5th of the stack above this. doesn't make any sense. You looking at an angle is messing things up. Okay. You can't see the middle at all, so I'm sure that's 2 there. Does this get mirrored? Because there's supposed to be 5 here. Yeah, okay. Then that means you see 3 here. You see 2 here. That means you see 4 here. Okay. 7, 10, 16.
This took some creative thinking.
Surprised it was that easy.
No puzzle is without an answer.
Correct. There are 16 books in total. Good eye! Alright. Number 31. Light height. Worth 50 picarets. Oh dear. A single light hangs from the beam above the floor in a dilapidated warehouse. There are 2 posts, both of which are a foot tall, separated by a distance of 15 feet. The light casts a 3-foot-long shadow from the left post and a 2-foot-long shadow from the right post. Figure out how high the light is hanging above the floor. That's... I don't know much about triangulation and that type of math. I'm assuming there's an easier solution to it than that. Choose one of the posts and visualize a large triangle formed between the light, the spot in the floor directly under the light, and the furthest point of the post shadow. Okay, so that would make this... Oh, but I don't know what the difference is here. All I know is this section's 3. Let's read the rest of the hint. Then imagine a smaller triangle formed between the top of the post, bottom post, and the tip of the shadow. Like that. These 2 triangles are mathematically similar. In other words, the larger one is proportional to the smaller one. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So, 9. So that's only 3 foot? Oh, plus... Right. So 10 squared. Ugh. Now we're doing horrible math. Square root of 10. There isn't an easy square root of 10. Guessing it doesn't want you to do that, though. Say the height of the light equals x, and the distance on the floor between the light and the post on the left equals y. The shadow cast by the post to the left extends with 3 feet. Therefore, x is y plus 3. X plus equals y plus 3. No. Okay. 3x equals y plus 3. And 2x equals 17 minus y. So what numbers fit in both of those? No. No, no, no. Going for the super
I've got
hint.
this one.
Too much math. Too much math.
That puzzle was no problem.
No. See, that's all nonsense. Don't make me do this. Puzzle number 32. Fit for a king. I know better than to try something like that. 35 picarets. You have a job of cleaning the king's room in his palace. This king is quite meticulous and has declared that his room be clean in a very specific way. There are numbers written on some of the floor tiles that show the order in which the tiles should be cleared. Starting from tile 1 and proceeding from the tiles to the adjacent tile in the correct order, can you find a way to clean all of the tiles without repeating any? To avoid dirtying the newly cleaned floor, the last tile you clean must be next to the door. The tile is given a number, start from the tile marked with number 1. Go over each tile in order to create a path of sequential numbers already marked on the board. Two, three, four, five, six. So I have to do this. That's already set in stone. Which is a little weird. Shouldn't be set in stone because of all this. Oh, so it isn't. Never mind. Duh, you have to do that. Alright. 10, 12, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
A challenging puzzle, to be sure.
No, that one was actually pretty easy.
I love the thrill of a good
It
solution.
had a consistent pattern. And look at that, cleaning the floor in this pattern forms a Chinese character for the word king. Seems like the king is keen in language, puzzles, and clean floors. Interesting. Alright, that's all the puzzles we missed. Goosey! Goosey, what are you doing lurking around here? I wanted a quiet place to hide, so I thought the library would work. I still stick out, don't I? Oh, I was trying to sandwich myself between the bookshelves, too. You could just sit in a quiet corner out of sight. Luke, you don't know what it's like to stick out everywhere you go. That's Goosey. But I can live with it. Hey, would you like to try a puzzle? Number 75, the magic paint. 45 picarets. On a square piece of wood with 20 centimeter sides, a mysterious fellow has painted an interesting design using a brush that is 10 centimeters wide. This painter used only one type of paint, but it's quite magical. It starts off pink, as shown in example 1. If the pink is painted over, it turns to orange in example 2. If the orange is painted over, it turns into brown, example 3. With that in mind, how many brush strokes did it take to complete this design? Just because it's 10 centimeters doesn't mean he had to have the whole thing painted. Use the whole thing at once. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like 4 is too many. So I'm gonna go with 3.
I think this is right.
No?
Let me take another look.
Then it has to be 4.
How about this?
No!
Some puzzles are simply impossible.
But I can think of it using 4. One's across there. One's across there. There, there. Bam! Actually, that would miss the middle part a little bit. Once. Yeah, 4. I can see it only using 4. What's going on here? I guess it would have to take 5, wouldn't it?
This is what I've come up with. That was it!
Took mysterious fellow only 5 brush strokes to paint the design. Of course, if you didn't have magic paint, it wouldn't be quite so simple. I forgot they would have to paint this way, actually. I think that was my problem. My granny says the library is so old that even it has books on the legend of the Specter. I still understand though, Goosey. Why were you hiding in a tiny little gap? It looks so nice and cozy. If I could slip in there, I wouldn't stick out at all. Well, that's ambitious at least. Yay, a rare tome. Alright. Welcome to Miss Hallery Library. If you can't find a book, tell me. I know where all of them are. We were hoping to look in a few local newspapers. The newspapers are over in the corner. Need an archived copy, I know where those are. I need a newspaper from the day that Mr. Bard passed away. I don't know where those are. Unless you've solved 50 puzzles, I'm sorry, but that's library policy. And you have done so. Wonderful. Please wait a moment. Sorry to keep you waiting. Is this what you were looking for? Yes, this is it. May I borrow it? Are you familiar with the concept of a library? Library humor. Go ahead and bring it back, please. Very strange indeed. No mention of Bard's death in the newspaper. Well, that's no help. Perhaps not. Or perhaps Layton realized that there's more unusual about this situation than it looks at first glance. How long should we wait for Emmy, Mr. Layton? Do you think she can even find the library? What was that, Luke? Emmy! Nice to see you. You too, Luke. Sorry I'm late. I would have had trouble finding the big scary place with all the books. I'm sorry, Emmy. I was just joking. Hysterical, Luke. The children's books are over in the corner. Sorry to keep you, Professor. Here are the materials you requested. Thank you, Emmy. I apologize for the trouble, but this may bring us a step closer to our investigation. What? The police chief, the inspector didn't beat you here? I also brought you a surprise. Zoom! Ha-ha! Well, if it isn't old Layton of the Grassenheller. Inspector Grosky of the Yard. So you're the one Emmy has been helping. Oh, very sporting to keep that a secret, Emmy. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Inspector. So you were Emmy's Scotland Yard connection, eh? What a small world. I thought our investigation could have jogged the professor's memory at some point. What was that, Emmy? What? Nothing. I was just... Is that a new hat, Professor? Haberdashery can wait. I hear there's some sort of giant specter menacing the town. Yes, it's quite a situation. It sounds like Emmy has briefed you on some of the particulars, but allow me to fill you in on the details. The Specter has destroyed parts of the town with every appearance. Someone is pulling the strings on this Specter. However, I'm not yet certain who. A Specter conspiracy! It shall not stand! I, Grosky of the Yard, will help you in your investigation. I shall go to the Miss Tallery police chief and demand full cooperation. Hold on, Inspector. I haven't told you everything yet. And there he goes. Quite the excitable gentleman. Yeah, well, let's take a look at what Emmy found. I think we'll find useful information there. Oh, Professor, I had my film developed as well. Good thinking, Emmy. A lot of evidence is going to come out now. According to the police report, Bard died when he fell off a cliff. No sign of struggle at the scene. A will was discovered in his house. The details are sketchy, but it appears someone could have been a suicide or an accident. And look at this. According to the single eyewitness, there was no one else in the area. And the eyewitness was... Clark Triton. What? My dad? Did Clark ever mention that? Did you know this, Luke? This is the first I'd heard of it. Mom never mentioned it either. In his will, Mr. Bond left the rights to his land to Clark. He left all of that property to someone he wasn't related to? Why? This is even more interesting. There's no mention of the Spectre in today's London newspaper, despite the massive damage sustained by the town. No mention. Don't you find that strange? Well, the first we heard about it was in Luke's letter. Is someone trying to keep this story from getting out? It would appear so. Who would be capable of controlling the information like that? Let's confirm the reports at the Miss Tallery police station before we jump to any conclusions. Perhaps Grosky has tracked down the police chief for us. Evan Bard. There are many unresolved questions surrounding the death of Evan Bard. What really happened here? I'm positive that the key to unraveling the mystery of the Spectre lies in Evan Bard's death. How was Clark the sole beneficiary in Evan Bard's will? If the Spectre destroyed the library, then they would find me under a pile of my favorite books. Well, dedication is a worthwhile endeavor. Emmy, you may want to return to London at some point in our investigation. Take my car at the entrance of the town. You can select your final destination from there. Got it! That way I can reach any puzzles I missed in London. Exactly. Now let's move on. No, I think we'll let the game tell us what puzzles we missed. Alright, the police chief. Let's go ahead and take the boat. I think Boat Pier 2 is going to be closer. Onward! Oh, hey! What are you doing here? You! That trip between Grand Bridge and Highadale is a haul, even for old Bucky! I imagine so. Good work. Hey, for my customers, we'll do anything. You guys want a ride? A ride? From here, you mean? Wouldn't that be infeasible? The word infeasible is not in Bucky's dictionary, and it shouldn't be in yours either. You want a ride? Bucky has some great boats here. Wait, what? How is there... That doesn't make sense. And it was marked 7. That wasn't even on the list. The mission of the Miss Tallery police is to preserve the people. Refuse to not cooperate. We're open to the general public, except who's too busy to be. You folks, shop assistant. Chief Jakes is back now. Our chief is amazingly talented. Tell him I said so, will ya? Which one? Chief's office is straight down the left corridor. You all look the same! You're twins! What kind of person calls himself Third Eye? Humility may not be the chief's strong suit. He sounds like an excellent detective nonetheless. Let's reserve judgment until we meet the man. Least one could do, I suppose. So, you're the archaeologist who took it upon himself to investigate the Specter, eh? Yes, my name is Layton. It's a pleasure to. Layton, eh? Never heard of you. How's your investigation going? Well, we're just getting started, to be honest. He looks pretty typical for someone with 3 eyes. Emmy, shush! Chief Jakes, did you investigate the death of Mr. Bard last year? No, we just let that one go. Ha! Why? You think Bard's death has something to do with the Specter? I believe there's a possibility of the connection, yes. We've determined that the death of Mr. Bard was a suicide. How did you determine that? Because we found a will. The mere presence of a will is not enough to indicate a suicide, is it? No. It's not. Kinda like how tall a hat isn't indicate a competent investigator. I'm not challenging your judgment, Chief Jakes. I just need to confirm some facts. Confirm this. Bard threw himself off a cliff. We got a witness. Clark Triton was your witness. So you've done some homework. Yes, Mayor Triton witnessed it while we was out fishing. If you got a problem, you can take it up with the mayor himself. I see. Thank you for your cooperation. Why don't you go and dig us up some buried treasure now? Quite. Layton, you know why they call me Third Eye Jakes? Yes, I do. They call you that because you haven't left a single case unsolved. It's because I haven't left a single... Yeah, that's right. And you know how I've done that? Well, I couldn't say for certain without a full investigation. Let me save you some legwork. I've solved every one of my cases because I see everything. I see outsiders crashing in my sleepy little hamlet. I see the mayor's son running around town with you outsiders. With all due respect, Chief, we were asked to investigate the Specter. Yes, by the mayor himself. Really? Did the mayor ask that you drag his boy around town while you investigate Mr. Bard's death? My father doesn't care to even know where I am right now. All the more reason he may want to know about Layton here sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. We should be going now. Layton, I've got my eyes on you. All 3 of them. I want you out of Miss Tallery. You got it? I'll give you 24 hours to pack your stuff, get in that funny little car of yours, and go back to London. The clock is ticking, Layton, and this is not negotiable. You can't do that! Hey, what are you trying to say? That's not fair! Let's just go. Tick-tock, Layton. Guys, I think he's a bad guy. Chief Jakes is a legend in Miss Salary because of his track record for solving crimes. The chief is sent to let no case go unsolved, and the townsfolk hold him in high regard for this reason. Jake's always seemed to be one step ahead of everyone else. Chief Jakes can't treat us like this! What should we do? We shall deal with Jakes. Right now I'm a little more concerned about something else. The police are supposed to protect people. Why would he act like that? I think it's time to move on, Emmy. Layton noticed something. Jakes want us off this case for some reason. Regardless, we have a duty to seek the truth here. And to that end, it's time to speak with Clark. Ah, yes, time to go speak with the mayor. Well, it's a good opportunity to use the boat system, however it works. It doesn't look like Clark is here. Mr. Layton, shh. We must keep it a secret from Clark that Luke left the house. Well, of course. I'm sure Clark has noticed that his boy is gone by now. Actually, let's ask her. Sometimes I hear strange noises coming from the cellar, even when it's empty. Nolan says it's probably just wind in the floorboards. Sometimes I think I must be going mad. Maybe it's the old squire's ghost. You mean Evan Bard? Yes. He experienced a mysterious death, if I may say so, Professor. He owned most of the land in town and raised everyone's rent. On top of that, the only person he would speak to was Mr. Triton. I was dismissed from his household. Lucky for me, they took me here. Mr. Bard's death was strange. I see. Is there a reason why he would haunt this house? No! There's no reason at all why he would haunt Mr. Triton's house. Not as far as I know, anyway. Oh, don't mind my babbling, Luke. Here, I have a puzzle for you. Puzzle number 78. Lucky tablecloth. Worth 60 picarets! Wow. Your lucky tablecloth is damaged and you want to salvage it. You must start by cutting off the shaded area. Next, you must make 2 straight cuts along the dotted lines and end up with 3 pieces. Sewing these pieces together will give you a smaller square tablecloth with 5 complete 4-leaf clovers. Draw 2 lines in the cloth to show where you make your cuts. Oh, this is awful! Awful, awful, awful. Why would you do this to me, game? Okay. For this to work, 5 complete 4-leaf clovers. This one is complete. To get the rest of them, I need 2 spots here, 3 spots here, 2 spots here, 2 spots here, 2 spots here, 2 spots here, 3 spots there, 3 spots there. And 1 spot there. So these 2 have to combine in such a way that they form a new 4-leaf clover. 1, 2. Okay, so that's 2 4-leaf clovers. 2. Actually, but I'll still be able to use these spots, won't I? I don't think I want to do a cut that cuts through any of the clovers, though. But I don't have a choice. Like, that's literally the only cut I could make that doesn't cut through clovers. about where the cloth needs to be joined to create 5 complete 4-leaf clovers. There should be enough ideas for how to form a square. 2. Those 2 equals 3. Those 2 equals 4. And all those equal 5. So I ignore these. These go away. So this is a complete mess. Gone forever. Just forming a new square out of this is already complicated enough for my poor brain. Wait, you can cut like that? What the hell? But it says cut along the dotted lines. But it totally lets me do something like this. One of the cuts will have exactly 4 squares of material, that's that. See, these 2 are halves, these 2 are halves. I think that's one of the cuts I have to make. We're missing 2 squares worth of material here, though. Then the next cut I do has to be only 2 squares worth. Except no. One of the lines you need to cut starts from the top right side of the shaded square area that you cut off first, and it travels down diagonally to the right. Piece created by this cut is isosceles triangle. Yeah, that's the first one I did. So that one is right. Well, you only need one more cut. Is it this? It is!
I think this is right. That puzzle wasn't so hard.
Correct. The tablecloth was cut as shown above. It's a bit smaller, but the new tablecloth looks fantastic, especially with the 5 4-leaf clovers. And since you salvaged it instead of throwing it out, I guess it's a lucky tablecloth after all. Yeah, that's what I thought. A bit odd, but it works. I'm not one to gossip, but it is a bit strange how Mr. Bard left off his land to Mr. Triton. They were simply acquaintances. And the way Mr. Triton has changed since Mrs. Triton left. Hello, Mr. Layton. Master Luke. Master Triton is in the 2nd floor study. Oh, excellent. Let's go to the study then. How is the investigation, Herschel? I trust that Luke hasn't been too bothersome after sneaking out. Quite the contrary. Luke has been very helpful, Clark. Clark, I need to ask you something. Of course. What is it, Herschel? I need you to tell me what you know about Evan Bard's death. I'll tell you the same thing I told the police. I saw someone fall off the cliff. That's it. I didn't see anyone else around. I didn't even know it was barred until when it happened. Jakes closed the case as a suicide. Yes, well, that would make sense. What about the will? Why would Bard leave you his land deeds? Evan was my only friend in town with whom I would discuss intellectual matters, Herschel. You would have liked him very much. Of course, I was still surprised by the will. Chief Jakes confirmed the will and acted as the executor. He took care of everything for me. I became an extensive landowner overnight, and I've been dealing with the red tape ever since. And Ariana and her brother, they are still the expected heirs, as far as I'm concerned. I planned to oversee the land until they were of age. Unfortunately, it's unlikely that Ariana will live long enough to see that happen. So you know about her illness. Of course. Tragic. I don't know what I would do if such a fate would befall Luke. Evan was so attentive to his children. I'm surprised he didn't make provisions for them. And do agree with Jake's conclusion of Bard's death. Well, he's much more qualified to make that judgment than I. They call him Third Eye, after all. Yes, I've heard that. Herschel, that has practically eliminated crime in Mist Hallory. Aside from the activities of witches and specters, of course. What are you implying, Herschel? Please, just this once, stop talking in riddles. Some cases are deceptive. If the criminal confesses, the complaint is withdrawn. Case solved. Yes, go on. It's a common pattern among solved cases. Herschel, you don't think Jakes had anything to do with Bob's death, do you? Would Master like to have his dinner now? Doland, you gave me quite a start. How long have you been there? Only moments, sir. I apologize if you did not hear me knock. Am I disturbing the Master? No, no. Of course not. Yes, dinner would be splendid. Herschel, Emmy, you will join us. I will not take no for an answer. There are several aged wines in the cellar, Herschel. Perhaps you could go down and select a bottle for us. You want me to pick a wine? Perhaps the Master would prefer I select the wine to go with dinner. Oh, no, no. Our friend Layton is quite the wine aficionado. Isn't that so, old boy? Herschel, please. Well, it would be my pleasure. Where's the wine cellar? I don't think he's a wine aficionado at all. In fact, we've never seen Layton drink anything other than tea in our lives. That was a hint. That was a code. He wanted to get Doland. He wanted to get them away from Doland. He wants them to see something in the cellar. I didn't know you weren't a wine professor. Is there anything you don't know about? To be honest, I'm more of a tea aficionado. I actually don't know much about wine at all. Really? So why did Clark say that you do? It seems Clark fabricated a reason for us to go downstairs. There must be something there. I think we should do as he wishes. The cellar is through the blue door past the first floor entry. Looks like a normal cellar to me. What are we supposed to notice? Luke, does anything look out of the ordinary to you? No, not really. Actually, the cellar has been off limits lately, so I can't say for sure. Off limits, eh? Did you get caught down here scarfing fruit tarts between meals for Luke? What? No! They were eclairs. And that's hardly the point. Shh, quiet. What is it, Emmy? I thought I heard something. Maybe I imagined it. Perhaps it was a mouse. I beg your pardon? My apologies, Luke. I wonder if there's something we're missing. Professor Layton, is there anything I could do to help? No, we'll find Dolan. Thank you. Dolan, did you happen to know Mr. Bond as well? Yes. I know it isn't kind to speak ill of the departed, but Mr. Bard was a man who charged exorbitant rents to those who lived on this land. Some believe it was not suicide, but that he was thrown from the cliff by an angry tenant. Surely a cultured man like yourself is aware how the locals will gossip. It's unfortunate that this is how Bard is remembered. Most everyone knew him, and most everyone despised him. Oh, but I do prattle on. We have selected a wine. I can carry on with I can carry on preparing dinner. Dolan, has my dad seemed normal to you lately? He has been rather preoccupied, I would say. He has been spending much of his time in his study. Yes, clearly Clark has other matters at hand. Let's get going. You are not staying for dinner? We'll have to do it another time. Please give my regrets to Clark. Thank you for your help, Toland. Of course. Do be careful. So you did see something, Layton. For a wine rack, the bottles are arranged rather haphazardly. Did someone forget to organize them properly? These bottles on the floor can be rather dangerous. Let's put them away before someone breaks one. Puzzle number 89. Proper storage with 50 picarettes. In order to store the fine wine in an appropriate manner, the following rules must be observed. White wine should always be stored so that there is only one bottle, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal line. Red wine should also be stored so that there's only one bottle at the same horizontal, vertical, or diagonal line. 2 bottles are already placed in the crate. Can you find a way to store it? This can go here, here, or here. But red can go... But it can't go there or there, so red can go in one of these. Let's put that there. If I put that there... 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 But that's diagonal lines, so that doesn't work. That works, though. No diagonal, no diagonal. No. Yep. A proper bishop formation. Nope, that doesn't work. Alright, let's see. True, no, 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 and everything looks good.
This took some creative thinking. A gentleman leaves no puzzle undone.
Well done. Bottles may be placed as shown in 2 diagrams. Well, who would have thought storing wine was so complicated? It's basically just rotating it, it looked like to me. Perfect. I didn't know storing wine was so complicated. Found dirty cape. Alright, onward. After a short break. So, get up, stretch, whatever you need to do, keep watching comfortably, and I will be right back.